Welcome to the Strong Enough Podcast, your relationship wellness podcast. I'm your host, Claudia. Today's guest is going to share with us her struggles with depression and how music not only helps her live with it day to day, but how it brought her a whole new world of friendships. Please help me in welcoming Anke van Dooren. Anke, hi. I'm so excited to have you here today. You have no idea. I have been dying to meet you in person since we became friends on social media. So welcome and thank you for joining me. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. You have such an interesting story to me that I want to talk about today that kind of discusses relationships and friendships and some interesting things that you have as far as how you have built friendships. But let's start with just a little bit about you. So tell the audience whatever you would like them to know about you.
Well, I'm Anke van Dooren.
That's a good start.
That's a good start. I'm married. I have two kids, two daughters. So and they're now 9 and 7. So young kids.
Getting close to those teenage years. That's going to be a little nerve-wracking, huh?
Yeah, the oldest is almost 10, and it's coming.
Well, I think you can handle it. You're a strong lady. So I believe you're going to raise some amazing young women for sure. So I hate to get heavy so quickly, but I want to talk a little bit about, I know you have struggled some with depression in your life. And I don't want to say struggled. Let's say you live with depression because we want to talk more about how you live with it versus it being a struggle for you. So can you talk a little bit about your life living with depression and what that's been like for you?
Well, in my opinion, there's people that say like depression, oh, I'm over it, or that's, in my case, I'm like, no, there's always that little cloud above your head that just, keeps showing up. And so in my opinion, a depression, that's not just something like, okay, we can fix it. But what you said, you can try to live with it. And when it really struck me the most, I just took it day by day, sometimes even hour by hour. Just, I had 2 kids, so for them I had to go on too. So it's, that was difficult. And all the rest, I started to draw again, and that helped me a lot. And of course, music it really helps me to get my emotions out and just, let it be. And that's how I try to live with my depressions.
It's so difficult. And I love what you said, that sometimes it's day by day, sometimes it's hour by hour. I experience the same thing because I also live with anxiety and depression. And, what's so difficult for me is that there's days I wake up and I can't explain it, but I just can't get out of bed. And I can't put my finger on it. I can't say, well, this happened or that happened. I just can't do it. And I think that's so hard for people that don't deal with mental health issues to understand that you can't always explain it. Is that something that you deal with as well?
I have that same feeling. I have days too that I'm like, I don't want to get up. I have the plus point for me, in my opinion, is that I have the kids, so I have to get up in the morning. So you get pushed more. Like, come on, you got this. That doesn't mean it's still hard, because I sometimes even think like that. I have an autistic daughter. She, it's difficult too in that opinion, because she doesn't understand like why is mama sad? Why, she just thinks like, okay, she looks the same as yesterday, so let's do what we're doing yesterday. So but it helps me in that point too, like it is a reason to keep going. And if I didn't have them, in my opinion, I didn't have anything to really live for. So in that option, they're a saver too.
Right, which is fantastic, and that's a great way to look at it for sure. So you talked about a couple things that you got back into to help you live with your depression. One thing you didn't mention was fitness. I know that you are way into fitness. You do some cool stuff with Chop Fit. I think you also box a little bit, maybe. You do a lot of different stuff. So is that something also that has helped you kind of on those rough days, or just something that you do kind of every day to help you with the depression?
Yeah, because a workout helps, afterwards you feel that adrenaline, and, you feel happy after a workout. Sadly, because of some reasons, I have to do it on a lower level at this point, but it's still, and with Chop Fit, that they're perfect for that, because you can choose your own weight, heaviness of the exercise. So that's just perfect. So, but I'm taking that day by day too.
Yep. No, I totally get that. As you know, I know you have a different struggle going on that is making your workouts a little tougher right now. I just had wrist surgery, so I experienced the same thing of not being able to work out the way I want. And it's definitely a struggle for me, because fitness is such a big part of my mental health and feeling better in general. Luckily, you have a couple other outlets, and we are looking at one of them behind you, and that is your art. So talk about that a little bit. First off, you're amazing. Your art is so cool. I'm lucky enough to have a couple pieces of it, as you, of course, know. It's probably going to be hanging up here pretty soon, one of them, so other people can see it as well. But talk a little bit about your art, what you like to draw, and then how that helps you day to day.
Well, I started again because I didn't do art for 15 years. So That was a lot. And thanks to Shine Down, I actually got I got introduced to Board Entertainment. And I just love her art so much. And I was like, why don't I do it again? I mean, I did it. It helped me back then. So why wouldn't it help me now? Because actually I did, when I was younger, I did it the same. Just headphones on, music on, and just put art on a paper. So I do it again. And I just started in that way, started with mostly Shine Down art. I still do, because most people ask for that now. But I do other stuff too. But I just like, trying to recreate a painting in my style and I had a lot to learn, because the first few pieces I was like, oh my God, what can I get myself started with? But I'm getting there. And as an artist, you always keep growing. So I'm not going to be there for a long time.
You're definitely getting there. I mean, your stuff looks amazing. What I love, though, also is that you are very in tune with yourself and your strengths and your weaknesses, but you'll still put it out there. You'll put out a piece on social media and be like, I'm working on it. Like, I could do this better. I could do that better. And I just love that vulnerability that you're willing to show the world your progress as well, and not just say, nope, I'm not going to show anything I do until it's 100% perfect. It's amazing. I just love that you put out as you go, and even in different mediums. I think you're starting to learn a little bit more about digital. Is that right?
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's at the moment it's stopped again. But I did a few pieces. I did one for Speed Talk, so I haven't showed that one yet, actually.
Oh, but okay. Well, sneak teaser here, so that's awesome.
but I'm learning that too, because it is different than on paper. It's not the same, and especially with all the brushes, I'm like, I do mostly a pencil on paper, and that's just a few different kinds of pencils and a paper. That's all. But up there, it's like, you have brushes for that. You have brushes for that. And I'm like, oh my, why?
Why can't I just have 2 brushes?
Yeah, but it is funny because it does make me push towards color there a bit more. And
nice.
that's the funny part. And that's why I started painting again too, because that was that long ago too. And I just thought, you know what, I'll start. If it looks bad, I can paint over it, and I just started, and I got a feeling for it. So I thought, okay. So I recently painted a friend too.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I'll definitely be commissioning you soon enough, for sure. You are taking commissions, right? Is that?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later so people know how to find you if they want to do that. So you mentioned Shinedown. I know from looking at your past, you were a really big fan of Linkin Park.
Yes.
It really hit you when Chester passed away, and you kind of quit music for a little bit, and then Shinedown sort of brought you back into music. Can you talk a little bit about that journey, how that affected you with Chester, and then what brought you to Shinedown?
Okay. Well, I was a fan of Linkin Park from the beginning. So that was like the start, and I followed them all the way. I only saw them live 3 times, so I met them once, so that was cool. Mm-hmm. But in 2017, my world stopped. It was like I was on holiday, so that was the weirdest thing ever. First time I heard it, I even thought it was a joke. To be honest, I was like, no, this is a joke. And then it started like, I don't know why. There was so many questions. I was like, one, why I was so upset. Mm-hmm. Then I got mad at him. I think that's like the normal grief.
Yep, absolutely.
Like, why did you do that? And I didn't understand him. Like, how could you be that far gone to take your own life? Mm-hmm. But I didn't realize back then that was the trigger for my own depression. That I started to see things differently, and like only a year later, I understood him completely, and I was like, "Whoa, okay, this is heavy, like the song Heavy." But at that point, I couldn't listen to his voice anymore, and it took me 2 years before I could listen to Linkin Park again, and it was still not like. I still don't listen to like a complete CD. I don't know why not, because it's good music. I mean, I will always love Linkin Park. That will never change. But because of that, and I was in a depression, and I didn't have that outlet. I was missing the music. I was missing something. I had the one day, and that was actually the day that I wanted to try. I had the thoughts to kill myself. I didn't do it because I thought of my girls, and the immediate thought came like, I can't leave them. Why would I leave them? And I was lucky that I had that trigger, because there's a lot of people that don't have that trigger, but I did. But then came a point like, okay, I didn't do it, but now what? And it was almost like the middle of the night, and I just took up my iPad, put on YouTube, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to hit play and see what comes up. And it was Second Chance from Shinedown. And I knew them from back then. So I just didn't become a fan, but I already knew Shinedown. So I thought like, oh, that's a long time ago. How would those guys be doing now? Yeah, I got my answer. First I thought they had a new singer because he looks so different. I was like, who's that?
Who's that new guy with short hair and thin? Yeah.
That was really a shocker. But I knew his name was Brand Smith because I know Shinedown because of Apocalyptica featuring Brand Smith.
Mm-hmm.
So I already knew that was the only name I actually knew back then. So I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna look more up. And then because the first song that I got was Monstrous, and that was like he's describing exactly how I'm feeling. How does he know that? So that was already like a shocker, and I was like, okay, this is scary. And then Get Up came, and I was like, you know what? He's right. I have to get up. I have to change. I can't go on like this. This doesn't work. And that was actually the start of. Also, my that year was really heavy, but it also helped me, thanks to Shinedown, realize like, okay, there are bad days, there are good days, but every morning the sun rises and we can start again. And that's thanks to Shinedown. And then I learned the story about Eric, and I was like, okay, this is like, it was just a connection that needed to be there or something. I don't know. And that got me up. And I'm doing better now. And then I found out about board entertainment. So I started drawing and I started working out, and the time changed. I mean, I'm still living with the depression. I still have days like that I'm like, ugh. But I put on music and I just go.
I love what you said about kind of it was the middle of the night, you picked up your tablet, you found YouTube. I have a similar situation where I was really struggling a few years ago with some things that had just happened. And I was also feeling those same thoughts of giving up that you were feeling. And in the middle of the night, I would start listening to music just to try to make myself feel better. And Get Up was one of the same songs that affected me in a very similar way that I think it affected you, of like, wow, yep, this, I can try to keep going. Like it's so amazing how music can really speak to us, like you said, with Monsters. And is he inside my head? How does he know what I'm thinking? So I love music for that it really does affect all of us so differently. But for some of us, it really saves our lives and saves our souls. But for you, it's had another gift in that your love of music, and I think specifically of Shinedown, has brought you a world of new friendships, which is what we're going to talk about for a little while today. Because one of the things that people ask me about is, okay, once I get out of college, or once I'm not into the bar scene and I'm a little bit, I don't want to say old because we're not old, but older, where do I find friends? How do I make friends? Where are all these friends that I'm supposed to find? And you have found them all across the world. So can you talk a little bit about how your love of music, and maybe specifically Shinedown or any other band, has brought you this world of new friendships?
Well, actually, all the music bands that I followed over the years, I have a lot of friends. I collected, because I said I met Linkin Park. I actually met a Dutch boy and a Belgian girl there. And it was in Germany, so that was fun. But I still have contact with them. They both kind of went their own way too. It's like after Chester died, we all just, started doing other stuff or something. But I still have those as friends on Facebook, and also with other music things I shared. But the most are from China, yes. They welcomed me in with open arms. So I was like, whoa.
This is like a little family.
Yes.
Would you think, or would you say that it's harder or easier to maintain these friendships? I know, like, we're 8 hours time difference, and I think you have quite a lot of friends in the US, so very different time zones, time differences. So do you think it's easier or more difficult to maintain those relationships that are far away?
It's It depends, because nowadays you have internet, you have all the things. I gave some of them my number, so we do WhatsApp too, and it's just a text, and the person, if the person is sleeping, they'll react when they wake up and all that kind of stuff. So that's possible too, of course, which is easy. But you always have a certain time of the day where like they're awake and you can chat, and well, that's fun. So I also have somebody from Australia now, so
what is that? I was going to ask, what is that time difference for you? I think for me it's 12. I don't know. I'm bad with this stuff, but
I thought it was the other way. Sometimes I just forget. I just know like, and that time is awake, but I don't know exactly what time it is.
Right. No, I totally get it. I always have to ask ahead of time, like, what time is it for you right now? And then figure it out from there.
So some forget that I'm chatting or something, and they're like, "Oh, nice of you to drop in like a podcast or anything." And I'm like, "You do know it's 1 a.m. for me, so don't ask too much of me now."
I know when I see you on our YouTube premieres, I'm like, wow, she is up really late, because I appreciate anytime you do that, because I know it's super late for you.
I decided for myself and my own health not to do it anymore.
Right.
I need to sleep somewhere.
Yes, you got to get that. You got to get that sleep in there. I love to sleep, so I get that. How would you say it has been for you when you meet people and you share that love of one thing? Do you often find that then you have a lot of other things in common, or do you base those friendships off kind of that one thing and that's all you talk about? How does that work for you?
Well, it always starts there, of course, but if you really start to talk more often, you also, because there are some people that you just, after a while, you're like, okay, this isn't working. I have to cut it off because it's toxic or anything. But, there's always those people that, like when you start talking about other stuff, then like, okay, this is a friendship, because we can talk about other stuff. It's not just about the music. It's what connects us. And it will always be a love we share together. But there's other stuff in life too. So
yeah,
it's a bit, some of them are my support group. So
we all need that support group for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned toxic friendships, and I know that's something that we have talked about before on this podcast, as far as toxic family members, toxic friendships. So what would you say you do when you start to notice, okay, I don't think this is right for me. This friendship isn't healthy for me. What do you do then?
Well, because it's all online, it's easier to just say like, okay, this isn't working, I'm sorry, or you just don't respond anymore. I'm one of those people that always wants to say something, because I'm not going to be like, okay, I'm not going to talk anymore and we'll see, no, I did it with one person and she got mad, but I said like, okay, this is not healthy for me. You constantly only want to talk about yourself, and I want to listen to your problems. I want to help you. That's okay. But it is a relationship. It has to be, and it doesn't have to be equal, because somebody said like, okay, when a friend does something for me, I have to do something back. No, that's not how it works either. Mm-hmm. But if it's just one side, then yes, then it's not healthy. And I just told her that, like, okay. And I was mean because I did block her, but I was like, I really need that, because else I won't get peace. I need peace. This is not what I can use right now. And it's just that way that I said it. Like I didn't say it was her, but it was just her behavior that wasn't healthy for me at that time.
Excuse me. I think that's so great that you mentioned that. And I really want people to hear that and take that with them, that it really has to be healthy for you and for both people. What you said, it doesn't always have to be, I'm going to use an English term here, tit for tat. So it doesn't always have to be one for one when, you do something, I do something. But like you said, it does have to be healthy and peaceful for both people. And I just really want people to remember that, because you even said there, I was mean because I blocked her, but I had to do it for my peace. And I think that's not mean at all. That's what's best for you. And I don't think that's mean. And we have to get away from that mindset of, if we do something for ourselves, if somebody else takes it the wrong way, that's okay, because we have to take care of ourselves first. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, English is my first language. I sometimes have to find the words.
No, I totally get it. So sometimes you have people that are toxic. You're doing well, weeding those people out, but the people that you're really bonding with, how does that feel to now have this whole new world, literally, of people that can be your friend and support you? You said like some of these people are your support group. How does that affect you now, having this whole new group of people all over the world that are with you and on your side and are building those friendships?
It's a great feeling, to be honest. My dad once said, like, they're not real. But to me, of course, they're real. They're real people. They have stories. And I'm one of those people. I do want to hear those stories too. And as I said, they are my sport. I actually can mention something. I had a panic attack like a few weeks ago, but it was the middle of the night. Mm-hmm. So my own friends, well, they're all asleep. And I just I connected with the friend in Canada because she was awake. And she helped me through it. And she said, but I didn't do anything. I said, no, you were there for me and you helped me relax again and got me back to a good level. And then I was like, okay, I got this. So I told her, like, you are my friend. And despite that you're so far away, you are my friend and you helped me. And she said, and that was the sweetest thing. She said, yeah, do you do the same to me? You think like you're not helping me at all, but you are every time. So, and that's a good feeling that you have somebody out there in the world that just connects to you in that way. And now we want to meet up in real life one day.
That was going to be my next question, is meeting up in real life. So you have all these worldwide friends. Have you met up with any in real life, or what are your plans for that?
I haven't met up with anyone yet because it's not allowed yet.
Right.
I can travel now. I found out I can travel, but not like to America. Still not possible. But we are planning, and I have a Shinedown page, Shinedown Nederland. Mm-hmm. So it is Netherlands, but it's the way we say it ourselves.
Right.
Yeah. So and I'm connected to Shinedown Australia, Canada, and Denmark, and we kind of already made a deal that when they start touring again, we're gonna meet up, and 4 of us are gonna be in front at the stage and rock out together. So it's already a deal we made, and we're gonna do it.
I love it. I hope maybe I can sneak in there. I know I'm not part of that group, but maybe I can just pop in behind you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
How cool is it though to have those plans? Even though you haven't been able to meet up yet, but you have these plans. And I'm sure even with some of the people, I know you're really close to some people in the US, like Jill and Sam. So how cool is it to have these plans to meet up? Is that super exciting? Is it scary? How do you feel about that?
It's super exciting. But it's funny in a way too, because in 2020, I have a pen pal that I have for that's almost 22 years.
Wow.
Yeah, she's my mama because she's my American mama because she's the same age as my mom.
Nice.
So, and I was actually planning on meeting her in 2020, but yeah, I couldn't.
2020.
Yeah. So I'm still planning on going there, and I already a few people have said like, okay, I'm when you go there, I'll try to visit you, and so that's fun. So I'm already planning America too, but it's going to be a bit more complicated because they're all over America.
Right. Well,
it's bigger than the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, it's easy. It's like in 2.5 hours, I'm like from the top to the bottom. So that's not the same as America.
Yeah, it is a little different, but I feel like we in America maybe can all come to one location for you. I think that would be fair. That would be worth it. We can just congregate somewhere for you.
That's the deal.
Yeah, perfect. So tell me, these new friendships that you've made that started with music, moved on to other things that you connect with, why are they so important to you?
Well, because most of them actually went through the same things as I did. You find out that so many people are struggling with or depression or anxiety or all that kind of stuff. So it's not just the music that like brings everything into place, but it's also that kind of stuff and just life in general. So, and I don't know, some people you just connect with. It's some things you can't explain. It's weird.
No, I agree. But, yeah, it's interesting though, because the internet has opened up this whole new world to us. And I know a lot of people have bad experiences. We all hear about catfish. Is that a term for you? Catfish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, that's still out there. You call it here.
Perfect. So, we hear about those experiences, but I think it's so important to talk about what you've experienced on the positive side and the connections that you've made with people. I love what you said about so many people have gone through the same thing as you, because when I talked to Marcus, he kind of said the same thing. It seems like people who have been through similar experiences flock together and are able to support one another. It sounds like you experienced that same thing. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I don't want to I do want to put you on the spot here because that's my job. I won't make you name names, but is there one person that you're most excited about seeing face to face and giving a big hug in person?
Well, I have too many. I want to hug them all.
And that's okay.
But there's one that just because he is closest by, and I can actually just drive there if I really want to, and that's Shinedown Denmark. She's her name is Stina. She I don't know. I already told her like if I really need to, I'll drive there. I don't care. I mean, I drove to Hungary to my parents-in-law. And that took me 22 hours. So what's 8-9 hours? It's a piece of cake.
Yeah, that's it. For me, anything under like 14, easy drive, no big deal. So I get that 100%. Any advice you would give? So when you think about maintaining your long distance friendships, what advice would you give to other people who are also working on long distance friendships?
I have a thing that for me that's the most important thing, and I don't just have that for relationships online. I also have that for relationships in like general, and that's respect. If you always treat people the way you want to be treated, and to me, respect is one of the most important things, because out of respect, the rest flows, in my opinion. Like if you show respect, from respect comes love, comes all the other stuff. So to me, just be respectful to each other, especially online, because it's very easy to throw dirt online because it's less personal. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Depends on what you do, of course, because in my opinion, I'm honest on the internet. I'm one of those people that's just like, okay, this is me. Mm-hmm. This is how I look. I'm not perfect. I don't want to be perfect. I tattooed it on my arm. So, and just show your vulnerability. It's okay, and we have our off days. That's fine. And if you really don't want to talk to somebody, just be honest about it at that point. And in the end, the real people will understand that. They will say like, okay, you're feeling bad. If you need me, I'm here. And most of the people say that anyway. And luckily, all the people that I meet are really there for me if I really need them. So, and that's it. Just show each other's respect and love, and it will all. The rest, it all goes on its own.
I think that's great advice. And, I think some of the best friendships, whether they're people close by or far away, are the ones where you cannot talk for months. And the minute that you reconnect, it's like no time has passed, and that's okay. So I love what you said. You mentioned your tattoo. So I want to talk tattoos for a second, because I like to collect tattoos. I have a bunch of them. I know you have a bunch of them. So tell me, and you're in the middle of some tattoos. So tell me, what's your favorite tattoo that you have, and then what is your most emotionally meaningful tattoo that you have?
That's a good one. My favorite is the one I have now here from the "How Did You Love" song, because it also has meaning. If I choose a song text to put on my body, it really means something to me. It's like it's connected to me, and not in a person, because a lot of people say but the way you put it on your body, it's not what the song is about, and I'm like. But that's not the point. It's about what it means to you. Mm-hmm. That I show my tattoos, okay, but in the end, they're for me and not for somebody else. So that's meaningful. And of course, the names of my daughters, I have them on my back. So those are very, very important. Like I forget them maybe, but
well, then you have to look in the mirror and
and the one that means a lot to me is the one I actually got. It is a Shinedown tattoo, but I'll show it, and then I'll tell the story behind it actually. And it's Perfect. Just Get Up. Mm-hmm. And it's the story about the song, so that. But I was kind of bummed because I probably wouldn't see them. And then they announced that they were going to do a tour in Europe in 2019. I was like, wait, is this? It was like it was falling into place. Like, okay, I needed a concert, and there they were. Mm-hmm. So I immediately bought tickets. I didn't even think about it. And I told myself the moment the tickets came in, I said, if they blow me away during the concert, I'm getting Get Up tattooed. And here we are.
So I think that says it all about the concert experience. And I've always told people, if you go to a Shinedown show, that you will leave that show feeling like you can conquer the world. That's how I feel every time that I have left their show. Would you say the same thing for you? Yeah.
I do want to see them in America one day, because there's less pyro or no pyro in Europe, and I want to see the pyro too. I want to see the fire. So I do have to come to America for a show one day.
Yes, if nothing else but for the pyro. So tell us a little bit about, you're working on a leg sleeve, yes?
Yes.
Tell everybody a little bit about that.
Well, that's my other love for anime. That's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's actually, first I wanted to do more characters, but the tattoo artist said, like, okay, if you got to do them like really small, it's going to look weird. Mm-hmm. So thanks to him, we did a little different approach, but always listen to your tattoo artist. So in the story, they talk about the 7 sins, and they're actually characters. They're not human, because they came out of a person, and this person has split himself into the 7 sins. Mm-hmm. And I decided to use English, to do those because it means a lot to me too, because we all have those 7 sins. And there's even one, it's greed. He's my favorite one. And they actually say something in the story. And that's why I thought, okay, I need this. And he said, I know I'm greedy and I want to have things. But after a while, at the end, he says, I always wanted everything. But now I know what I really wanted. And that was friends like you. And I was like, damn. So you can be grateful for other stuff too. And I was like, damn. And there's all little messages in there that do that. So all the sins have something that you're like, okay, oh, this is a good one. Oh, this is good. Mm-hmm. Even lust.
Well, I love how you talked about friends, because I mean, that's what we were talking about today. And I think it's great. You know, this tattoo, even, it's a love of yours, but it again has so much personal meaning to you. And I think that is what is so cool. I feel like you've given a lot of great words of wisdom here today. So far, I think the 2 best are respect and always listen to your tattoo artist. Some people really fail on that one, and that can be troublesome. But if you had to close out with your just one piece of wisdom to give everybody out there that is going to help them live a better life, have a better day, have a better hour, what would that piece of advice be?
Well, we have a saying here in the Netherlands, but it doesn't work in America, sadly. But it is, luister naar je hart, want dat klopt. And it actually means listen to your heart because it's right. But it means beating in the Netherlands. So, that's why they say it. But I always, I say that, and I can only say it 1,000,000 times, but do listen to your heart, because in the end, it's the right way to go. If you feel like immediately like, oh, that's not a good idea, then don't do it. Because it says it to you for a reason. And it's the same like if you think like, oh, I really would love to do that, but then like, no, you really want to do it. Try it, do it. You can fail, that's okay. It's part of life. So listen to the heart. That heart knows more than you think. So
I love that. And I think that goes for the positive and the negative. You know, if your heart is telling you something isn't right, a lot of times we don't listen to it. We try to quiet it down and just follow that path anyway. So I absolutely love that. Anke, if people don't know where you are on social media, if they want to find you, if they want to find your art, if they want to find your Shinedown fan page, tell people where they can find you.
Well, my own page, it's Anke van Day. So on the scars from Day. I have an art page that just says art by Anke van Day. And then Shinedown is Shinedown Nederlands, but if you just do Shinedown NE, then it's probably already finding me. I did it in my own language because I thought it was fun. So
yeah. I'm glad that you did that, because it annoys me sometimes when different languages say things differently than how they're actually said in that language. So we will definitely put all those up on the screen for everybody so that they can find you. You guys definitely follow Anke. She posts a lot of inspirational things about fitness, about art. Definitely worth a follow. So Anke, I so appreciate your time today. I am so grateful that you were able to join me, share your experiences with cultivating friendships and how people can have amazing friendships long distance. So thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I had a blast.
Yes. Have a wonderful day.
The same to you.
I really hope you guys enjoyed my conversation with Anke as much as I did. She had some amazing advice to share with us about friendships, relationships in general, and taking care of yourself. So until next week, remember, you are strong enough and you are worth it. Thank you for listening to the Strong Enough podcast. You can find us on your favorite podcast platform by searching Strong Enough. And on YouTube, we're available on the Spear Talk channel. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at strongenoughpod. If you have suggestions for an upcoming episode or a future guest, please reach out at strongenoughpod@gmail.com. Remember, you are worth it.